Hi. As some of you might know, I am part of the team that creates the how-to series of the IRV, where different gymnasts explain how they approach certain aspects of wheel gymnastics. Working on that brought me to the idea of creating my own little video series explaining how I approach creating a new exercise and basically walk everyone through step by step how the new exercise is being created. In this first video I tell you how I look for a new music and based on what I choose which music to use. The first thing I would generally recommend is not to listen to hours upon hours of music, but go for a continuous process. So what I do is I have a playlist set up in my streaming service where whenever I come across a song, I'll put it on the playlist, and once there's a bunch on it, I will from time to time, when I'm doing some chores at home, when I'm commuting, or when I just have some time at hand, go through the playlist or parts of it, and whenever I come across a song on it that I like, I'll move it up a bit, and if there's a song that I no longer like as much, or I'm questioning whether that would actually work, I'll move it down a few positions, and if a song stays on the bottom too long, I'll remove it again just to make sure that the list stays fairly condensed. Another good tip I think is the radio station functionality that most streaming services offer, where you can create a playlist based on a song, an album, or an existing playlist. So what I then do is I create a radio station based on my playlist of potential music, which I link down in the video description. And this actually brought me in the past to quite a few interesting new discoveries. Also, I would generally recommend to get some third-party opinions. So ask your coach, ask your colleagues about what they think of your favorites. Of course, keep in mind that they might not picture you doing the same elements as you do, so you might already have specific ideas on which elements to do to certain parts of the music, and they might not picture the same dynamics, so just keep that in mind when you get the opinions of them. Now, regarding the choice of type or style of music, this obviously depends greatly on your character, on your tastes, on your abilities. For me, this year, I knew I wanted to have a song that has a fairly strong beat that would potentially allow the audience to clap along, just because none of the music I've had so far would allow for that, and I imagine that to be very motivating, of course, during performance. What I ended up now choosing is Come With Me Now by Congos. Right. Turns out in between recording and editing this video I changed my mind. What I ended up choosing is Van der Kay from Asa-i-Viata. No idea whether I'm pronouncing that even remotely correctly, but I'll be sure to put a link to the song into the video description. I'm not quite sure whether I will have to add a second song, just because it might end up a bit too short after I cut out certain repetitive parts. I'll have to see that during the editing process. The editing process will actually be the topic of my next video, so be sure to subscribe to be notified when that goes up. Also, feel free to give me any feedback or input on the format or the whole idea of this video series. I have a short list of topics that I definitely want to cover, but I'm of course open to any suggestions of what I should cover as well. I hope at least some of you will profit from this series, or at least find it interesting, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.